Hi, this is James Gordon, October Live here with the second book review in the October Terror series. The book I will be talking about today, Hell House by Richard. This was first published by Viking in 1971. This edition I have here is from Torg, and this was published in October of 1999. This was a really disappointing novel. Despite the really cool title and the cool cover, I was just really bored with this book, and after reaching the 200-page mark, I said, screw it, I am done with this book, as I did not enjoy it. I didn't like it, nor the characters in this book, and a bunch of other things I didn't like with it. I do like Richard Matheson. He's a great writer. Like his well-known work, I Am Legend, that's a really good book there. And then the short story Duel and some other ones he's done. I really enjoy those. But yeah, this book was not for me. Well, as they say, as you know, they say you're not gonna like everything that every writer does. So not every book by this author I will enjoy. So. Um, I felt it could have been a lot better. I was actually envisioning a much different story than what I got, but I'll explain that later on in my video. My thoughts and opinions on this book. All right, on to the review. Plot: set in the late month of December of 1970, Dr. Lionel Barrett, a physicist, his wife Edith, a retired TV actor turned medium, Florence Tanner, a spiritual and mental medium, Benjamin Franklin Fisher, a physical medium, are all hired by the dying billionaire William to spend a week in the infamous Belasco House in Maine, or as is more commonly known as Hell House. William offers them $100,000 to study the paranormal activity and to find a way to remove the spirits that haunt Hell House. Between 1931 and 1940, two paranormal teams tried to unlock the secrets of Hell House, but ended in disaster, with team members being driven insane or committed suicide. Fisher was the only survivor of the second team and spent 30 years in the insane asylum until he made a full recovery. After agreeing to the deal, William has the team driving two Cadillacs from New York to Maine in the freezing cold and thick fog. Once they are near the house, William leaves the team to go to Hell House. Barrett and the others reach the massive Belasco house, which has a concrete bridge, a large garage, indoor swimming pool, theater, and many other rooms. To their shock, they find all the windows have been bricked up, and most of the supplies will be brought in tomorrow. Using candles and flashlights, Barrett and the others unpack their gear and explore Belasco house after listening to a recording he made for his guests back in the early 1920s. Well, Edith senses many things within the house. However, Barrett is more skeptical, but his wife warns him it is dangerous to ignore the signs of supernatural, as it can harm him if he isn't careful. During dinner, the team has talked about the history of the house along with its owner, Elmer Bogasco, described as a tall, handsome, very smart, yet evil and greedy man with a dark childhood. Murdered the family cat, assaulted his sister that led to her dying of a drug overdose, using his parents' money to build the Bogasco house, and engaged in wild and disturbing acts of sex, violence, death, along with cruel experiments on both animals and people. Then it all stopped in 1929 after guests broke into the Belasco house and ransacked it. In total, 13 people were found dead. However, Emmerich Bogasco was nowhere to be found. The team begins with a series of tests using both machines and spiritual contact. While they find evidence that there is a number of spirits in the house, it is along to strange things begin happening, such as hearing footsteps, noises, sudden drop in temperature. During breakfast, the team is attacked when their glasses explode, along with their plates being thrown off the table. They are forced to take cover under the table. Edith believes the spirit of Belasco's son Daniel is haunting the house. Barrett and the others don't believe her, since there was no record of Belasco having a child. Edith refuses to accept their claims and tries contacting Daniel while being tormented by the spirit, along with haunting Florence. Later on, they find a hidden room behind the bricks with a dead body hung by a rope. Edith believes they have found the corpse of Daniel, along with a golden ring with the first and last initials. But Barrett still isn't convinced and is waiting for his machine to arrive so he can debunk the supernatural with the power of science. After burying the body of Daniel, Florence is attacked by the cat as it claws her face up and injuring her leg. She is forced to kill it while badly hurt. While Flores is recovering from her injuries, Barrett goes to relax in the sauna. Edith then joins him as the two kiss. Suddenly, Edith becomes sexually violent towards her husband. Barrett pushes her away. He tries to go after his wife, but she locks him out. Barrett calls out for help while hallucinating and getting hotter. Barrett is able to ram his body weight against the door, but collapses from exhaustion. Fisher contacts the spirit of Daniel, asking if he is responsible for the series of attacks and the other events happening within Hell House. Daniel responds no. Fisher tells Daniel his spirit can... Fisher tells Daniel his spirit was given a proper burial and can now leave this place. However, Daniel cannot leave as his father is preventing him from leaving and is asking for their help. Can Barrett and his team succeed in unlocking the secrets along with freeing the trapped spirits in this house? Will they be able to defeat Emmerich Bogasco, or will they become the next victims of Hell House? This was a very boring and disappointing novel with slow pacing that made it a chore to get through. Didn't like any of the characters in the story as they felt unlikable, flat, and nothing interesting about them. Not much happens within this story, mostly a lot of drama, characters yelling at each other or acting weird. The character I disliked the most was Barrett, the skeptic who strongly believes he can debunk anything with his $70,000 computer because science can explain everything. I hated this character so much. I really wanted a ghost or something to kill him, as having to read his dialogue of dismissing everyone's claims of ghosts, supernatural, and anything else wasn't real and could easily be explained with science really annoyed me. And when things start happening to him within Hell House, Barrett still dismisses these findings, being nothing more than a stubborn character. Lastly, I found the plot of Hell House very boring. Nothing really scary happens, and just like how the house isn't keeping the team from leaving as they just refuse to leave till they get their answers made it less exciting. I felt this novel could have done so much more, but it just falls flat. Very tamed, as the horror doesn't get any better the further you progress in it. Also not violent enough either. Overall, I don't recommend Hell House. It's a slow and not scary novel of a haunted house along with all of its ghosts. Has the most boringest cast of characters you will ever read, and nothing else this novel has worth reading for. I'm sure you can find a better haunted house themed novel than Hell House. And that's for the review today. As I said earlier, I did not enjoy this book at all. I was just really bored with it, and I was going in thinking this would be a good book. I was thinking, oh, Rich Matheson, this is going to be a good one. No, it wasn't. Oh, I was just so bored with the story, the characters, and it's just, I was thinking, with a cool title like Hell House, I was expecting a lot more from this book, and it doesn't. As I said, that the characters in the story are absolutely boring. There's nothing I liked about them. I thought, why is it like all these like middle-aged old characters? They're so boring. There's just nothing I like about them, and this is something I notice a lot with horror films or anything that involves supernatural or like ghosts. Is why is it's either the main character or someone that's part of the group is always the skeptic. It seems like a rule. You have to put a skeptic in the story. And I'm thinking, why you gotta have a skeptic in the story? They're always gonna try to dismiss it with something, and Barrett's character, like, he has the comical skepticism that every skeptical character tries to do. Tries to debunk anything with the power of science. I really hated this character, and he sets up this like $70,000 computer, and it's gonna debunk everything, but he won't explain to anyone how it works and what it's supposed to do. I thought, okay, you're just being a selfish, rich smartass that I got this fancy computer. I don't need you researchers. I can debunk everything with my fancy computer. It was bullshit. Oh. And not a lot of scary things happen in this book, and I was just like, come on, like, I'm like at the 200-page mark, and like, make something happen already. I'm bored already. Like, like a few things happened here and there, and that's it. And I was like, oh man, I feel like there's so much opportunity could have been taken with this book, and I would have liked this better if the group of characters were they're leaving a party and they're on the way home, and their car breaks down, and they take refuge at this like house, and they discover it's haunted, and they have to figure out a way how to get out, but the longer they're in this house, it begins to drive them mad and insane. That would have been a way better premise, and the and the and the supernatural powers are preventing them from leaving until they unlock the secrets. That would have been a better book, this, this book here, this is just boring. Despite the title, Hell House, it just, this book was completely boring. I was just really bummed with this book. Yeah, haunted houses aren't really my thing, so I wasn't sure what to expect from this, but I decided to give it a shot, and it was just disappointing. But as I said earlier, you're not going to like every book and story that I offer, right? So this is just the one thing I do not like by Richard Matheson. All right. And I'm glad I'm done with this book because it was just taking too long to get through. And with October already almost over, and I'm like, I want to move on to something else. So I already got my next book picked out, and hopefully this will be good or decent. And if not, then I've got something else that I've already read before that is a good book. So that all right. That is it for the review today. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I got my next horror book picked out, and I'll be reading much as I can for this paperback, so I can have a review up soon as this month is almost over. So I want to pump out as much horror as I can before the month is over. I still will be reading horror in November, but I just want to get much horror content as out by this month as possible. All right. That is the review today. If you enjoyed it, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to October Library, the YouTube channel, and the Facebook group of the same name. A place to post share review fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.